Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Witches of St. Petersburg by Imogen Edwards Jones. The Witches of St. Petersburg by Imogen Edwards Jones follows two sisters, Militsa and Stana, who marry into senior positions of the Romanov court. The sisters are often shunned because of their ties to the impoverished country of Montenegro and for their dabbling with the occult. Tsarina Alexandra is an outsider as well. So far, she has only managed to have daughters, which are of no use to the continuance of the Romanov dynasty. This is the perfect opportunity for Militsa and Stana to make their way into the very heart of the Romanov court, where they befriend Alexandra and help her succeed in producing a male heir. Though their power is elevated, a sickly male heir is produced, and the sisters discover Rasputin, who they think will be their salvation, only for him to be the future demise of everything they hold dear. This is a rather complex book to review, yeah guys. I have very complex feelings for it. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a book that you either love or hate, or maybe you're just in between, because that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of in between with how I feel about this book, because there's certain things about the book that I liked, and then other things that I was like, oh dear God, please just stop. This is too much. I'm done with this. As far as the things that I like go, I really loved the kind of the first little chunk of this book where these two sisters of Montenegro, they're princesses, their country is impoverished, it's very important that they get married off, and yeah, who's better than the Romanov dynasty? And so these two sisters, Militsa and Stana, they're married off into the Romanov household pretty much, and yeah, whether they like it or not. And I liked that beginning introductory stuff, if you will. I liked learning more about Militsa and Stana and their relationship with each other and their country, and yeah, how they get into the Romanov household, and yeah, their relationship with the wealthy at court, you know, the other nobility, and how they feel like they don't entirely fit in, and how people look down upon them and whatnot. So yeah, a lot of the stuff at the beginning of this novel, just very typical, traditional historical fiction. It read nicely, had a nice pace to it. So yeah, that's what I initially really started liking about this book before it started getting very strange. I really liked them as characters, and they're real historical figures, Militsa and Stana, real historical figures that I'm kind of ashamed that I'm not familiar with, considering how much Imperial Russian historical fiction that I like to read. I'm just kind of surprised this is my first encounter with them. I mean, unless they have popped up in other historical fiction books, and they were just never really focused on that much. But yeah, they were real historical figures. They were known for dabbling in the occult. I mean, the way this book is, I'm thinking Imogen Edwards Jones. I'm thinking she takes a lot of liberties with these two women, since a lot is not really known about them anyway, but other than the occult. I think she has taken a lot of liberties with probably just how much of the occult they dealt with, because it does get pretty dark and heavy in this book with how much of the occult they are practicing. So yeah, it was really nice to learn more about these two women. Yeah, because even me just doing some quick research about them when I was done with this book, I think I got on like Wikipedia, and like even on Wikipedia, there's nothing. You know, they each have like a little paragraph on Wikipedia, you know, whereas if you type in like Rasputin or something, Rasputin has like pages and pages of Wikipedia information, you know. So yeah, these two women have definitely been neglected by history, and yeah, especially if they do, or if they did have some sort of involvement with bringing Rasputin to the Romanov court. I mean, a lot of the responsibility and blame kind of does fall on them for the fallout that happens later with the Romanov dynasty. So that is very interesting. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure how much historical liberty Imogen Edwards Jones has taken. You know, how much is fact and how much is fiction in this book. Because like I said, there was barely anything even on Wikipedia. you know, barely anything there. So yeah, it's probably a case of I need to definitely hunt down some more nonfiction, you know, historical nonfiction, and maybe there's a book out there that focuses on them a bit more, perhaps. So yeah, the big bulk of what this book is about, it is the relationship the sisters have with each other, and the relationship they eventually have with Tsarina Alexandra, who, as we know, she just kept producing daughter after daughter after daughter, all healthy daughters, but yeah, of no value essentially to the Romanov dynasty because none of them could reign, you know, which is a shame. So yeah, that's what this book focuses on a lot, is Tsarina Alexandra's, her desperation and her paranoia, and yeah, herself just getting sickly, just trying to produce an heir, and she hasn't even recovered from the births of her daughters or anything, and it's just child after child being produced. So yeah, that's where Militsa and Stana come into play. They dabble with the occult. They say to Alexandra, hey, we can help you produce a child. And that's kind of the thing too with how the occult is portrayed in this book. This book is not like a magical realism. You know, it's not a straight out magical realism type of book because the magic, it's not like really magic. You know, it's not like Harry Potter magic, if you will. Everything, their magic is, it's much more organic, and, you know, the things that they're doing, we probably today would not consider magic, you know, it would be considered more like scientific advancements and whatnot, but yeah, to them, you know, they think it's more of a magic. So yeah, that's kind of how magic and the occult is treated in here. It's not really for real, it's not really legit. There is like explanation behind it, and a lot of what they're doing, it's a lot of stuff like just trying to manipulate the head, you know, a lot of them trying to manipulate Alexandra, making her think, oh, if you do this, you'll produce a male heir, you know, but it's all very psychological type of magic, if you will. And also what Imogen Edwards-Jones, what she plays at quite brilliantly with this book, because Tsar Nicholas and Tsarina Alexandra, you know, they were kind of known for their desperation and their paranoia, and yeah, for their belief in superstition for the most part. So yeah, Militsa and Stana, they play on that, you know, they play on that perfectly and brilliantly to elevate their position and their power and influence in the Romanov court. But of course, all magic comes with a price, you guys. You know that classic saying, all magic comes with a price, so in comes Rasputin. Rasputin is the price. Because Alexandra, once she does produce Tsarevich Alexei, who, as we know, he had hemophilia, Rasputin's brought in to help cure Alexei's hemophilia. Yeah, we find out, like I said, I don't know how much of this is fact or fiction, if Militsa and Stana, how much involvement they had in bringing Rasputin to court. Yeah, they do. They bring him in, and they think they have control over him initially. You know, that's the thing. They think they have control and power over him, and to get him in the direction he needs to go, and telling him, okay, you need to heal Tsarevich Alexei and do this. Thing is, though, Rasputin gets a big ego, his rise in station is elevated, and yeah, he just quickly towers over Militsa and Stana in terms of power and influence. And this really strikes the ire of the sisters. You know, the sisters who have been with Alexandra this entire time. Here comes this man getting in the way. So yeah, this is where the novel starts to get really interesting and weird. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's once Rasputin is introduced, you guys. It's once Rasputin is introduced into this whole narrative that it's all just very strange and weird and kind of just gross. Things just get really, really gross and icky, and it's like, I don't want to read some of this stuff. And it's just also the fact that the narrative, you know, the narrative for the most part, I was really enjoying the narrative and how it was building up to Rasputin. But yeah, once it gets to Rasputin, I felt like the narrative, it just got really outlandish and over the top and very extreme. And it's like I had to really suspend my disbelief about certain things and just kind of go with what the narrative was. And It was all very weird, you guys. It's hard to explain. But within that, what I was enjoying, I mean, I enjoyed the fact that the sisters realized they really got in over their heads. You know, that they didn't know what bringing Rasputin would do. And yeah, they're paying for their mistakes. They have to deal with the consequences of their mistakes. So I continue to like how that evolved. You know, that Rasputin's introduction, it really helps build their characters and whatnot, and how they continue from that point forward. But yeah, let's talk about some of the scenes with Rasputin, you guys. I know how Rasputin, you know, how he's often depicted. He is often depicted as being very sex crazed and gross, that he didn't shower, he didn't trim his beard or anything, he was smelly. Yeah, you get all of that. You get all that grossness in this book. But yeah, what Imogen Edwards-Jones really focuses on, she definitely really focuses on him being really sex crazed and getting that occult following, essentially, with women just flocking to him for whatever stupid reason, whatever the hell was wrong with these women back then. And yeah, the sex scenes. You guys, the sex scenes involving Rasputin were very nauseating, and I had a hard time getting through them. I just, ugh, they were gross. Especially because Militsa, the character Militsa, she tends to have the most involvement with Rasputin, because this narrative is mostly kind of seen through her point of view. She has the most involvement with him. She does have some sex scenes with him. At first, she has consent there with him, but then later there isn't really much consent there. But yeah, the scenes are very gross and nauseating, and it's like, I don't want to read sex scenes with Rasputin, who is a very notorious villain of history. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it this way. Do you want to read a World War II historical fiction book, maybe focused on like Hitler or something? Do you want to read sex scenes involving Hitler? Ew, no, that is fucking gross, you guys. So it's the same with Rasputin. You know, it's the same with Rasputin. I'm fine, like, hearing it. You know, it's fine hearing it, but like seeing it play out. No, just no. So gross and disturbing. That's where the novel was just kind of falling apart for me. But yeah, either way, back to the characters of Militsa and Stana. I just really enjoyed them as the female protagonists of this book, because they do some despicable things on occasion, some very questionable things, but it makes them flawed, it makes them real human beings, it makes you sympathize with them when they do make their mistakes and, you know, the consequences that follow. So I really enjoyed them as characters. I enjoyed their relationships with various other members in the Romanov court, and yeah, their relationship with Rasputin, even as gross as it was at times. So yeah, I think that's what Imogen Edwards-Jones does brilliantly with this novel. You know, she really does well with the two of them as the main characters, and fleshing out their vulnerabilities and whatnot. So yeah, it is. My problems with this book, it mostly is kind of the second half of the book. Once Rasputin's introduced, like I said, things get really over the top and outlandish, really gross and disturbing, and I was just having trouble kind of consuming the material for the most part. So how would I go about recommending this book? If you're like me and you love all things with Imperial Russia, you might want to check it out, because this does deal with two women who have been neglected by history. So if you like that sort of thing, you'll enjoy this book. Yeah, it is. You'll just have to kind of take it. You know, you need to read other reviews and figure out if this book is for you or not. Because yeah, my review, because I'm kind of having a negative point of view kind of for the second half of the book, and that might be throwing you off about how you feel about the book. So you might want to check out other reviews if my review is not really helping you. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, this book I think it read very quickly. I wasn't bored. I mean, as disturbing as some things got, I was never bored, at least. That's the good thing. And it was still really fascinating to see two characters dealing with magic and the occult, because that's a side of Imperial Russia that I've never really experienced much with, for the most part, when I've read this type of stuff. So yeah, you'll just have to make up your mind, you guys. I'm very confused about how I feel about this book. Part of me liked it, part of me hated it. This was a book that I was very excited at. If you saw my top 5 most anticipated books, at the beginning of this year. This was like #1 on my list. So this book kind of disappointed me a little bit, but not that much. I mean, not that much. I still enjoyed it for the most part and had fun with it, and it kind of opened my eyes up to some other little different things I didn't know about Imperial Russia. So that is it for this book review, guys. In the comments below, have you guys read The Witches of St. Petersburg? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just let me know your thoughts down below. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.